Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nuketown 2025 in Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 from 2005. Living in art. Why settle for just having works of art in your house when your entire house could be a work of art? Look at that. Look at that work of art of a house. So, this map is, of course, Nuketown 2025. There's the woods. Mailbox. The other house is Mason. And Nuketown is a very famous Call of Duty map that has been remade numerous times. Tomorrow's living room. Be relaxed and find true comfort in this futuristic living room. Nice. So this remake of Nuketown is kind of a retro futuristic 60s futurism sort of vibe. It's all about nuclear power and the home of the future and such. The science of sleep. Sir, could you get out of the way? I can't read the placard. No one will be able to resist the soft textures of this bedroom, the advanced polyfoam mattress, and fantastically soft ulti shag. Ulti shag. What is ulti shag? A little alien toy, a little girl doll, a dog or some kind of animal, stuffed animals. And Nuketown was from the original Black Ops. It was a 50s community that was used as a nuclear bomb testing community. Also, I like that Nuketown, that little phone house communicator thing. Nuketown. And of course, it was called Nuketown because it was a nuclear testing facility, and at the end of the match, a nuke dropped and blew it all up. Easy nuke oven. Dads, be the first one on your block to own this red hot beauty. No more messy charcoal and lighter fluid. And so instead of your grill, you're going to have a microwave. A microwave. Is this suggesting that you could microwave your hamburgers instead of grilling them? Because I don't think I would want to eat those. Here's a little path around the side of the map. This is, of course, for the RCXD, which is a little remote control explosive car. There's a robot in there. A big robot. Need a hand cleaning up? Just call on your own surface bot. Built from plasteel, the surface bot is resistant to rust and can function in all weather conditions. He'll clean up after the party and never complain. But yeah, there's little RCXD pathways in some of the Black Ops maps. Little ventilation shafts you can drive through, or something like there where you can drive the RCXD outside of the map and loop it around to the other side. Building the future. Why build your house with wood? It warps, rots, and attracts termites. Use recycled and energy-efficient materials like polystyrofoam, plasteel, and polysilicon for an eye-pleasing, long-lasting, and environment-friendly home. Here we have a moving company truck with a little dog in a spacesuit. Like that. Cute little dog in a spacesuit. And this map is a pretty much identical geometry remake of the original Nuketown. Which was as I said, a very popular map. Here we have a little screen advertising this community here. And that screen is actually part of an Easter egg where if you run around the map really quickly at the start of a game and shoot all of the heads off of the mannequins and then go to that sign, you can actually play some old Atari games. Treyarch is a very old developer. They were active back in the 80s, so some of those old Treyarch games you can play as part of that Easter egg. I really like the retro futurism aesthetic, which is the aesthetic of, what people in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s imagined that the future might look like. The Jetsons and sort of that vibe. I find it a very appealing aesthetic. It's very cool. And over here, we've got a hydroponic little garden. The new world of hydroponics. Grow vegetables all year round with the aid of hydroponics, an amazing new science that uses nutrient-enriched water instead of soil. Yep. Well, hydroponics. Guys, my stomach is grumbling. I've had to cut out like 2 really loud grumbles already in this video. I like this greenhouse with the sprinkler system on an elevated track. Here we have the fallout shelter, which was in the original map as well. Welcome to Atomic Security. It's not just a fallout shelter, it's your home away from home. Built with reinforced concrete and lined with lead, it has all the safety you need. All the safety you need. Here we have a futurist. It did a got a bunch of food items you can pick a leaf. I guess it would magically prepare it for you. Magically prepare it for you. Kind of reminds me of this old science fiction story. I think it was from the 50s or 60s, somewhere in that time period. I believe it was called The Veldt. It's been a long time since I've read it. But it's about a smart home, a futuristic smart home, like the ones here. And the parents in the house, they upgrade to this fancy new house, and their kids become obsessed with it. There's like a playroom that has these digital walls. Like the room can kind of form itself into an environment based on what the kids want. And the kids become obsessed with the house, and the parents are getting kind of disturbed by it because the kids don't want to do anything else besides just hang out in their smart house and go into the magical playroom. And so the parents and the kids end up having kind of a conflict around that. And it ends with, spoilers if you want to go read The Veldt from like 50 years ago or something. In the end, the kids lure their parents into the playroom and then use the playroom's features to create a hungry lion, and it devours the parents. Kind of prescient about our modern age, right? How technology and children have intertwined in very disturbing ways. Here is the map Raid. This is in the Hollywood Hills of Los Angeles, in the middle of an attack on the city. But yeah, kids and technology these days. The internet was one thing, right? Social media was another. That was a pretty bad thing to introduce to kids, in my opinion. But the level of technology now that kids have access to, AI, I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. But my brother works at a high school, and he tells me about the kids at the high school. And it is some frightening stuff and disturbing. He tells me about kids that have AI girlfriends, and they just want to go home and talk to their AI girlfriend. Anyway, he's told me a bunch of other messed up stories, but this is not the time for that conversation. We're trying to wander through some Black Ops 2 maps. So, Raid, of course, has this garage here with very nice cars. Very, very nice cars. No signal on the TV, Also, isn't it funny how that map was called Nuketown 2025, and we are now in the year 2025. We have arrived at that year. Yeah, the maps in Black Ops 2 will often have a lot of futuristic, aesthetic stuff going on. And that's because the game is set in 2025, which is funny because so the game is set in the Cold War, and in 2025 the game came out in 2012, so at the time 2025 was, near future, right? But they could still be kind of futuristic with it. And so it introduces a lot of stuff like cyber warfare, drone warfare, all those, kinds of near future military technologies. And so the modern sections of the game take place in 2025, and then that's why it was called Nuketown 2025, because they wanted to, reference the year that the game took place in, but shift the time scale back. So now they was like, okay, but what did they think 2025 would be like in the year 1965, right? Does that all make sense? I feel like that was probably obvious. Anyway, this is just like a mansion sort of place in the Hollywood Hills. So a very nice building, the palms swaying outside, the large palm trees, which are so iconic to California and yet are not even native to the region. I know there are some people who want to get rid of the palm trees in California. I think for environmental reasons, because they help accelerate like wildfires and stuff. So it's a way to fight wildfires, which obviously California has a lot of. A lot of the Western United States has issues with that. Here we have a little garden sort of area, ferns and a stone path on the ground, a grassy lawn, a maintenance area, authorized personnel only. Yeah, Black Ops 2, the campaign follows Woods and Mason and other characters from Black Ops 1 back in the 80s during the Cold War. And you meet the character Menendez. I like that little sculpture there of the fish. That's cool looking. Raul Menendez, who is the antagonist of of Black Ops 2. And you learn his origins back in the 80s, and also take a look at this. This room is full of drugs. A lot of cocaine in here, and a lot of cash too. Yeah, Black Ops 2 had a pretty ambitious campaign. You're jumping around in time a lot, and your decisions, you make a lot of decisions throughout the campaign that affect later parts of the campaign and also affect the ending that you get. And they had these special missions called strike missions, I believe, where you were like provided support to a squad, and the outcome of those missions also affected pathways throughout the game. So there was a lot of stuff going on that sort of technical level, but then also you're bouncing around between time periods, and there's all sorts of complicated stuff with characters and brainwashing and yada yada. I did like the Black Ops campaigns, but to be honest, I was always more of a Modern Warfare guy. The Black Ops campaigns, I liked them, but they just, they were a little too messy for me or something, I don't know. A little all over the place, and I think at the end of the day, just the tone or whatever, it just didn't quite work for me. But I still liked them, I still enjoyed playing them for sure. And in terms of multiplayer, I spent a ton of time playing Black Ops 2. This game had a fantastic multiplayer mode. Guys, my stomach is going crazy. It's just because I'm not eating. I'm not eating enough. Here we are out in the ocean, looking at some island off in the distance there, with some sailboats in the water, some seagulls in the air. And can you guess what map this is? Can you guess what map might take place out in the ocean? I'll give you a minute to think about it. You probably know already. But let's look at this beautiful gull soaring through the air. I love birds. They're such beautiful animals. That's a nice beach. Love to hang out there. Oh, I'm sleepy. I'm filming this, or recording this very late at night. Need to get this out, or I want to get this ready in time for Bon Voyage. It's like Bon Voyage, but swapped around and then turned into the name Vaughn. But yeah, when I get this video out in time for the members only, I just try to keep a steady release for the members only videos. Which, by the way, that's just, all of my videos are, go public. I don't keep any of my videos behind a paywall, but, for people who are members of my YouTube page, at the second tier, you get early access to videos, so I usually try to have like a 2-week lead time, 1 to 2 weeks sort of range of an early access period. Sometimes it's only 1, sometimes it'll be a little more. Usually 1 or 2 videos in the early access period at any given time. Anyway, if you want early access to videos, you can feel free to join the channel, but no pressure, of course. And you don't need to feel left out because all the videos go onto the main feed sooner or later, so nothing is permanently behind the paywall. Anyway, this map is Hijacked. Did I already say that? I don't think I did. We are on the map Hijacked, which is this super yacht out in the ocean. And let's wander around this luxurious yacht and take a look at what we can see, like this wall of red burning candles. Isn't that a nice little touch for the room? It's a lot of candles to replace though if they burn out. It's a nice piece of art. Oh, I'm yawning, y'all. I'm sleepy. Sleepy. Alright, up here we are in a large bedroom. There is luggage on the ground, a broken window with shards of glass scattered on the carpet. Outside we can see the bridge of the yacht. There's a shower section in the middle and a little hot tub. A photo of some old ruins. Some more art on the wall in that same style. This kind of impressionistic, geometric sort of thing. In fact, that painting was the same one we saw on Raid in the garage. Bucci, Avicenna, and Cicero 6, 4, and 5. Some ancient orators, historians type of, ancient sources. Not historians, that's not the right, they weren't historians. I mean, ancient sources that historians today use. Some wine, some photographs on the wall. I read recently that a super yacht like this is the most polluting vehicle a person can own, even more than a private jet, which I thought was pretty crazy. I think it was something like this emits 4,500 times more greenhouse gases than a family car. We've got a workout room, 35-pound plates on this barbell, 2 35-pound plates plus, what do we have here, more, wait, what, 35-pound plates, but then, okay, all these plate weights are 35 pounds. Big or small, they're all 35 pounds. Those are the kind of details, It's funny when you really look closer at these maps. All the plates are just different size versions of the same one. Here are all the dumbbells. All the dumbbells are 25 pounds, regardless of their size. Select workout or press. For some reason, a treadmill is very nostalgic for me. Especially kind of older treadmills. It's kind of nice watching the clothes just gently tumble around in the dryer. Let's head down into the lower levels. The treadmills are nostalgic for me because we had one in my basement when I was a kid, and I would play in my basement a lot. That's where me and my brothers had a lot of our toys. That's where we had our first Xbox. The original Xbox. My family didn't have gaming consoles growing up until my dad won an Xbox, an original Xbox, in a raffle at work. I think it was a raffle. And so he brought it home, and from that day onward, we were a gaming household. The kids liked gaming. And it's kind of funny imagining if I would have developed the hobby if not for that, my dad winning that one raffle. I'm sure I would have. I mean, we wouldn't have been able to keep video games out of the house forever. It's like the most popular hobby. They're like an incredibly popular hobby. So I've got all all this mechanical stuff under here. And of course, as a map element, people can traverse this under section, this path, to cross from one side of the yacht to the other via an underground pathway. So it's usually a little less hectic down here, and you can kind of sneak through usually. Though you're always liable to bump into somebody camping down there, or coming the other way or something. Panama Logger. So we have found our way to the galley, it seems. Mint gum, I think that says. The texture is pretty blurry. Some jarred food, like 6 bottles of vodka. Some kind of pickle. Look at that little pickle character. Funny looking little dude. Strawberry jam. Watermelons. Yep, here we've got sinks and ovens and stuff. The actual cooking area of the galley. We have a helicopter. A small helicopter. Because what super yacht is complete without a personal helicopter and its own helipad? Can you even call it a super yacht if it doesn't have a helicopter? We've got some 2 small boats here. 2 fancy speedboats or something. Another sailboat out there in the ocean. And let's make our way back and explore the rest of this section of the structure. Some boats on a beach. And this couch, this elevated couch, kind of a funny place for it. Like you're sitting behind the captain's chair, relaxing with a couple of drinks, just watching him do his job. Yawn. I'm fighting to keep my eyes open, y'all. We've got a safe here. It's blown open and emptied out. And as I said, Black Ops 2 has kind of a near future cyber aesthetic, and so you get, those kinds of screens where it's just like visual technobabble. But down here we have a dining room. some nicely folded napkins, and a kind of three-dimensional cityscape art piece here. 3 layers of decoration at the 3 different depths. An espresso machine, so you can have your lattes and your flat whites and your cappuccinos and your Americanos or whatever you want. You're on a super yacht, baby. You can ask for anything. They can do it all. Virus warning. Virus warning. Virus warning. And that kind of cyber aesthetic of Black Ops 2 coming back in. Gotta watch out for the computer viruses. Especially when you're using drone warfare. If it can all just be hacked. Which I think happens at some point in Black Ops 2. It's been a very, very, very long time since I've played the campaign. I didn't play it. I mean, I haven't played it since it came out, so I guess the last time I played it was in 2012. Maybe I played it a little into 2013, but let's just say, 2012, so 13 years ago. Isn't that a beautiful sunset? So here we are in Yemen, which is both the name of the map and of course the name of the country in which the map is placed. Yemen is a country on the Arabian Peninsula. It's the country at that kind of southern tip of the peninsula. And it abuts the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, which is actually, you've probably seen Yemen in the news recently because the Houthis are a rebel group in Yemen, or a militant group. I mean, it's hard to call them rebels when I think they control like half the country. Let's just say a militant group. They have been attacking ships passing through the Red Sea. Ships that are trying to get through the Suez Canal. There are a lot of ships that do that. I mean, the Suez Canal is an incredibly important through point for global trade. So anyway, I just brought that up because current events, kind of relevant. You might have seen Yemen in the news. But this is a beautiful map set waters of what I assume is the Red Sea. With these old stone buildings. Just a sense of history here. Now here there's some like ammunition crates, and then a blasted wall with a bunch of sparking wires, all freaking out over there. So I guess there's some militant action going on in this town. And there is Yemen's flag. Black, white, and red stripes. It almost looks like the French flag. That black looks like a deep blue. Reminds me of France. And let's leave this building because those electric wires are gonna zap me. It's not safe in there. Let's keep walking around. The car. The red car. Yeah, I do think this map is very beautiful, this architecture. This architecture and how it kind of hugs the natural terrain. They're very close together, you know, there's not a clear division between the town area and the natural area. They're right up next to each other. And then obviously the blue water is off in the distance. It's just a great combination. A very beautiful map. Cookies. A box of cookies. Some bags of spices. This might be one of those maps where I have to swap out the ambiance though, because there's some faint gunfire in the distance, and I might want to get something a little more relaxing. Here we have some hookahs. If we go upstairs, I think there's like cushions and stuff for smoking hookahs. Yeah. Hanging out and sucking on the hookah bin. There's a bunch of them in here. Alright, we'll hop out the window. And we'll walk along the side here, and we should be able to just find a nice place to drop down. Yeah. Hop on that car, and here we are at street level again. Let's walk down here and see what there is to see. Looks like a little market area with lobsters and fish. Now, unfortunately, with nobody around, I think all this stuff is gonna go to waste. I think all this seafood is rotting in the sun. Very sad. The fly flies buzzing around certainly attest to that. More fruits. Not sure what those green fruits are. Alright, here we have watermelons, bananas. This sign says Fariha Market. It's got a ton of spices. And let's walk over here. Find our way through this storage room. Circle around these boxes. And come out here. This architecture of the I don't know, I guess I'd say Islamic world or something. It's very beautiful. I love oh, you can't hop up there. I love the style of the domes and the highly, geometric pattern of it. You know, there's lots of geometric patterns, and here we have a little structure. It's got some water spigots on it. I guess a place to come get some water, a little fountain. Here's another beautiful view out over the sea. And let's walk into this little building with the dome. We've got some fast food cups. And here's the dome with a lovely sort of serpentine pattern. Now that's pretty. I like that a lot. That's gorgeous. The stained glass with the sun shining through is casting red and blue pattern on the wall. Head back out here. That would be a little scary to walk across that. I'm gonna take the regular bridge. And this little tower with a hearth going with a cool little cover over the top of it. Burning away, burning away. And we can come out here. There's some more catwalks to circle around the building. I love that little island out there. Let's see if we can get yeah. That's just beautiful. The shallow water lightning around the island. The rock and the trees and the gulls. And for our last map of the day, let's check out Studio. Studio is a Hollywood movie backlot, and it's kind of fun because there's a variety of movie genre areas in the map. So here we have an alien invasion movie set. Along with whatever this little vehicle thing is. Some kind of sci-fi military mobile base of operations or something. Here we have Risky Pete Saloon. Risky Pete Saloon. And this is, of course, the sort of Western themed section of the backlot. And this map is a remake of the Black Ops 1 map called Firing Range, which was a firing range, as the name suggests. A sort of a training area. But in this, it has been reflavored to be a movie set. So we've got this Western saloon. This Western saloon. Oh, and this is fun. We've got a bloody knife here. A bloody knife. And then, a handprint here. A little chalk outline of a handprint. And lots of marks on the table. And, that is a reference to the game. That's funny, there's a nuclear symbol on that furnace. Yeah, that little table is a reference to Five Finger Fillet, which is that game you play where you put your hand on a table and then stab a knife in between the fingers. And you go at increasing speeds while trying not to stab yourself in the finger. Wanted $500 reward. Buford Beans McGraw. Buford Beans McGraw. Wanted dead or alive. Dead or alive. Here we have a Godzilla or sort of kaiju movie set where a city is done in miniature so that it can be destroyed. And show the scale of the monster. You can see the footprints of the monster stomping through the city. And over here we have our pirate movie. This is like the first Pirates of the Caribbean. We've got some undead pirates swinging their swords around with cannonballs splashing in the water. Very Disney. Here we have a little building with various props. There's a small car from the miniature set, a chest of gold from the pirate set, a piano from the Old West set, place where they would work on props, fix props, make new ones. Got some more Old West items there. And some medieval items. A shield and armor and such. Ooh, we'll go back and check that out in a second. First, let's just want to see what's over here. Okay, a little prison with some more skeleton pirates. Or are they pirate skeletons? Skeleton pirates? Or pirate skeletons? I don't know. I think they're skeleton pirates. Here we have our Jurassic Park film set. A Tyrannosaurus Rex has burst through the fence. And I like this. I like this a lot. We can see the Tyrannosaurus prop, but in a half-finished state with its innards exposed. It's kind of cool. A nice touch. A little corkboard with some papers on it. Nothing special. And we can make our way down here to the medieval set. Stage 13. Struggle for Camelot. So we've got some medieval costumes here for the Struggle for Camelot movie. And stepping out of that building, we can turn around to see that is a castle. A castle. Let's climb up the castle watchtower and see what we can see. So this is a great vantage point of much of the map, or at least the sort of immediate surroundings. And there we have a brontosaurus chewing on some foliage. Big old brontosaurus, the giraffes of the dinosaur world. Big long neck. Let's descend from the tower. Descend from our high tower, past the vines, climbing up the stonework. And there's the Old West set again. Which means here we are, back at the aliens, the alien invasion, where we started. And let's continue the opposite direction this time. So, this direction leads us more to the actual buildings, the offices or whatever. Beast from below, the ocean's worst predator, just found his newest prey. Man. Space monsters from the moon. Beyond the moon lie the monsters from space. Shadow Killers. A kung fu movie, no doubt. Space Monsters from the Moon 2, the sequel. And that's that little robot, alien robot we saw at the start of the map. Staff only. Notice, not an exit. So out here, we come to a little dead end. I think this is a spawn point for a team, probably. But it's the gates to the studio. So, a large gate with the doors closed. And if we turn around, we're looking at the Camelot set castle. And our good friend, the Brontosaurus, just happily chewing away up there. Happily chewing away, happily chewing away. The food services tent, craft services, although not really. I mean, it's just four vending machines. I wouldn't call that food services. Well, let's end our journey here with the T-Rex and the Dinosaur Research Center. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while we checked out Black Ops 2 multiplayer maps. I certainly enjoyed it, and I hope that you did as well. Until next time, my friend, as always, please take care of yourself, and I'll do the same. And I will see you next time.